Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to talk to you about witchcraft, so let's jump in. So, something that I learned about witchcraft and what was done to me through witchcraft by these snakes that were siphoning off of me. Apparently they were a married couple, but it was unbeknownst to me. A lot of stuff has come out. I learn something new every day, but I don't know. Anyway, this is an anonymous thing anyway, but apparently in witchcraft, these individuals will do things behind the scenes and make it seem as if it's you. You know, I always say the narcissist, when they hoover you, they come from around the corner or by proxy, basically through other people, which we call them flying monkeys, which are their, if they're the wicked witch, the narcissist, then they're flying monkeys, right, from the Wizard of Oz. So they will get their flying monkeys, their little worker bees that are brainwashed to believe in the mask, to come see you and get you to hoover yourself back. So that would be considered a by proxy, meaning they don't have to do any work. They just plant seeds, and with all this witchcraft they're doing, and unbeknownst to you, because you're unawoke or you're waking. And what saved my life is, what I'm finding is, my intuition is on point, y'all. When I started to break this generational curse, my intuition got so on point that it was, when I look at it on paper now, I'm realizing I dodged so many different bullets because I started to shed my ego. I had an ego death, like major ego deaths. Ego is compensation for hurt and pain and childhood fears and things. Kind of goes, ego and codependency go together. So it's attention to some degree, not quite like the narcissist, but it's your false self regardless. And when you're in the relationship with the narcissist, like I said, they inflame everything. So when they're in your life, they inflame codependency and they inflame your ego to its worst. So inflammation. So then when you go through dark night of the soul, where you're just all alone, man, and you're like, yo, this is like, you're just like dying inside. And you feel like you're spiritually dying and physically dying and psychologically dying and emotionally dying. But really, you're performing a death on your false self. And because when you do that for a time period, you get to a place in life where you're like, you go through so much pain that everything's killed in you that's fake. It's almost like a forest fire takes place in your life, in your body, in your mind. A forest fire takes place in your mind and your heart. And it just burns up all of the fake. Because you come to a conclusion, living like that is what kind of led to you meeting the narcissist. But don't get it twisted. You're not a narcissist. You just had wounds from narcissists that needed to be healed. So you were compensating with ego. And your ego is what you compensate with, what you believe you need to be like to get the right kind of attention. This is just off the cuff, so when you have that forest fire in your mind, your heart, your psyche, your emotional state, everything starts to come into balance the way it's supposed to be naturally, your authenticity. And because that happened to me, then your intuition comes on point, and mine is to another level. My intuition is. And that helped me dodge troubles and things that were supposed to happen to me. But like I said, when you live like that, you start living in a certain kind of love and a certain kind of authenticity and truth and boundaries, and you understand covenants, contracts, and consents. So when you put all that stuff together, like I said, God covers you. You have a covering that's out of this world, to where you almost won't even know you're doing the right thing by dodging stuff that should be nailing you. And that's where, when you look at it on paper, it shows you that how then now you can walk in it by faith, knowing it'll happen. This is pretty good. You ain't getting this on no other channel. Anyway, They use witchcraft just like they hoover you. They'll hoover you by smear campaigning you till you come back and ask them, why are you lying about me? And then they'll hoover you back. They'll do all these weird things because they don't want to come to you. It would be like them bowing down for them to come reach out to you. Because they're the most prideful, pompous in the world. But it's true. I speak truth on here, so. Okay, but the other thing is that I learned the reason why I was able to deal with all of this stuff for my personal self, because I had so much witchcraft placed upon me. They put this death spell on me to use me and steal my identity. So they stole my literal identity, and then they stole my fingerprint through my emotional field through witchcraft. And what they were doing was, apparently, I think there's some identity theft out there, or I just dodged it barely. But I gotta go. I'm gonna have to go to the police department, because there's a lot of stuff coming to me that makes me feel like somebody needs to go to prison or something. But anyway, they use witchcraft on you to do things to people, but put your fingerprint on it, so those people think that it was coming from your character. And that's some crap right there. But what expanded me, that broke a lot of these witchcraft spells, and God prepared me for it earlier in life, was learning about all these different conspiracy theories. I was able to expand my mind. I mean, to where a lot of times, years and years ago, I was expanding so quickly on these conspiracy theories because they are true. You just got to understand how to see them. All conspiracy theories, almost all of them are true. But when you get hit with them too quick, or you dig in, I dig into stuff. So when I dig into conspiracies, and I don't talk about them a lot outside of the Revelation channel, because it's hard. You can't talk about the thing with the airplanes. They'll knock you off the air. You can't talk about the other thing with the wearing masks and stuff. So I haven't really gotten too much involved in it. But there's a lot of things I'd love to talk to you guys about on the Revelation N505 channel, but I just don't dare, because I know it'll probably get shut down. It's too truthful. But anyway, I had expanded so much around the years of 2011, 12, and 13, 14, 15, 16. I was learning this stuff so quick. I would spend like 15 hours a day sometimes if I wasn't working, studying this stuff. And I expanded. It was almost like to where I had to slow down, because it was just too much, too quick. Because it's almost like you have to look at the whole world in a whole different light every time you learn about another conspiracy theory, like flat Earth. Flat Earth is true, y'all. And you can laugh, but until you understand the cosmology, and that things like the North Star never budges from the center of the North Pole, and it looks like we're not flying 67,000 miles an hour all the time and nothing hits us, and then we shoot some refrigerator out of here called the space shuttle. You couldn't build anything that could handle that and then drive it back into it's crazy, y'all. Anyway, everything's spinning around us. Everything CGI'd from space. Anyway, but I expanded that so much that my brain, my mind was able to handle all of this stress and witchcraft that was coming at me. It was kind of like an everyday thing after a while. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you just keep working out, man, and you get bigger muscles so you can compensate and you can do more and more. It doesn't even bother you after a while. Start eating right, and you get a whole new lease on life. Well, the same thing happened because I went through all these conspiracies, and I know the word, and I'm very eclectic because I had to, because when I was growing up I didn't have crap, so I had to work hard, and I had like 30 different jobs. Not because I got fired. I never got fired. Sometimes I would have a summer job, or this job paid more, so I would jump to that job. But I always had a good rapport. I was always a hard worker. Yeah. So I think when these witchcraft spells and stuff were hitting me, they put spells on me to keep me stuck from like leaving the country or something like that. They put spells on me to make me sick, to steal my finances. That's why finances were falling out of my hands, man, and things were breaking all the time. Apparently I'm funding other people here with that money that was, and then they're just partying it away and having all these like weird sex parties or something. I don't know. Man, these people are crazy. The more you find out, like I said, as lewd as you think it can get, it's not even close. It's like you do not want to know what it really looked like when you were being destroyed. They tried to take my channel down, and my channel would actually be more successful right now. But they got it almost like shadow banned in the background, and then they made different channels trying to smear up this channel. Pretty crappy. And I still made it because I don't quit. Yeah, so they kept doing this witchcraft on me. They had witchcraft spells on me that would get me to unalive myself. And then they were going to take my, they call it some kind of destiny swap. Her husband or whatever, I didn't even know they were married. I don't know what's going on anymore. But he is like infatuated with wanting to be me, because, and she's kind of crazy too, looking for me, apparently. But I think they're going to lose their, you know, the abode. How about that? I don't know. I'm only talking about this now because I don't give a damn, because these people have done a lot of stupid shit, and stupid shit to me. And all I did was pour my heart to that individual during that time period. And I think they thought that they could come back time after time after time. And I think she's still wanting to come back, but then she smears me up in the background still. Listen, I haven't talked to her in like 2 years. I've been over that. And I don't want that. Don't ever come to me for that matter. But thank you for watching. Till next time, Soul Joe. Peace be out.